This year marks the 10th anniversary of the International Transport Forum, and I'm here with Alain Rathery, who is the former Deputy Secretary General of the ITF. He was with the organization from 1973 to 2010.
Right.
A long time.
Long time.
So Alain, looking a little bit back at the creation of ITF 2006, actually that wasn't the starting point. The starting point was 1953.
Right, the starting point was the European Conference of Ministers of Transport created in 1953. This organization was a purely European organization, and I would say also purely intergovernmental organization, dealing mainly with technical topic, lot of committees, working group, but in this working group there were only civil servants. And that was also an organization dealing only with inland transport, so road, rail and inland waterways, but nothing to do with maritime transport or air transport.
And what were the reasons then which led to the discussion and ultimately the decision in 2006 to change to what is now ITF?
Yeah, I would say there were two main reasons at the same time. The first was the fact that with enlargement of the Union, the ECMT, which was purely a European, has not a specific field anymore for them. That was the first reason. But the second one was the apparition of new topics, new issues. And for these issues, I would say an intergovernmental organization and technical organization like ECMT was not the best place to discuss these kind of topics.
Two of the big changes were that ITF deals with all modes of transport, and the second was that it is global in outlook. How does that play out in practice?
Yeah, in fact, as I mentioned, there was new issues when we decided, and when the creation of the ITF was decided. One was the globalization of transport, the fact that it's worldwide now, and not anymore a European one. And I will say, in this field, the mandate of the ITF has been completely fulfilled. The number of countries increased a lot. ECMT was purely European with less than 30 countries. Now, the forum is a worldwide organization with 57 probably, and from all the continents. At the same time also, as I say, it was an organization which was only dealing with inland transport. And with the globalization, it was impossible to continue like that. There were too much links between maritime and inland transport, between air transport and it has been also a success because these modes have been integrated in the forum.
And what has the addition of non-European countries brought to the discussion about transport? Is there...
I think the global view, and not anymore a technical view and purely European and purely discussion about competition, liberalization, harmonization of competition. It's a larger view now on transport and this is also the second issue, the fact that transport now, everybody is convinced that it's something which is absolutely vital for the economy and with a lot of implication in social, environmental, things which were not discussed previously, not because it was not technical topic.
The third big innovation that was decided in 2006 was the creation of what we now call the summit, the annual ministerial meeting that has become really the meeting place for transport policymakers. Has that fulfilled the expectations?
Yes, I think so, because it was in the declaration of Dublin, it was clearly indicated that the ministers want their action to be known outside, which was impossible in fact in the past. ECMT was very narrow and purely technical. And with the ITF now, I think it has been completely fulfilled. When you look at the participants, more than 1,000 persons attending a summit, which was not the case for a ministerial meeting. We were a maximum of 200 persons and only civil servants. Because the second point, which is absolutely important, is that the transport now is a key factor for the economic growth, and it was absolutely necessary to have exchange of view between political and civil servants on one side, but all the persons from the civil society who have a view about efficiency, who have a view about environment, about social aspects. And this discussion, I think, it was asked by ministers in the Dublin Declaration, and I think that the ITF has completely fulfilled this mandate.
So the first 10 years of ITF have been a success, I hear, but the world is changing very rapidly, and the issues in transport evolve very rapidly. Where are the challenges that the organization faces for maybe the next 10 or 15 or 20 years?
Yeah, it's always difficult to see what will be the future, but I will say that I see some key issues for the future. One, and the first one is, I would say, the risk of certain drawbacks concerning liberalization of transport and a risk for the globalization of transport. So we have to be careful, because with some protectionist measures to be sure that we will continue to have an efficient system of transport. That's one of the challenges. The other one is linked to the price of energy. I see a certain risk that the fact that we were looking for more efficiency, more environmental, more energy-saving system, there is a risk that this will not be the key issue for the future, or it's absolutely a vital question for the future. We know absolutely that fossil energy will disappear in the future, and so the forum has to be very careful on that. The third topic I'll see is, of course, the problem of safety, security, with the attacks of terrorism and things like that. Of course, the forum has already started to work on that, but I think the forum must continue, and the problem is a trade-off between security, safety on one side and efficiency on the other side. And another topic I'll see for the future with important consequence for transport is automatization of transport. I'm convinced that in the future the role of the man in transport would change completely. And it's not only a question of innovation, but it's also a question of responsibility, of insurance, and all these things have to also be examined by the forum carefully, I would say.
And for example, taking automation, which is a very, very hot topic at the moment with the Google car and all of this, how do you see the role of the International Transport Forum there? What could we contribute?
How could you contribute? I will say difficult to say. I suppose that the ministers of transport have to give guidelines concerning this automatization, because we need really to put some barrier on different sectors to be sure that with this automatization we don't go over these barriers and with all the risks that we can go. And it's the role of the Minister of Transport to prevent any action going too far, too rapidly, and with all the consequences which are not been very well analyzed.
Yes. A personal question maybe to finish off. When you were in Dublin in May 2006 and the ITF was created, did you expect that 10 years later the organization would be where it is now?
Certainly not, I will say. We expect a lot, because we are convinced that a change was to be done, something new has to be created, and I think really the forum is something very new in the way to approach. But we could not imagine that things will go so rapidly and so far at this period. And I would say I'm very happy to see that after 10 years, there is really now a future for the forum for the years to come. I'm really convinced of that.
Thank you very much, Alain Rathery.
You're welcome.
Good to have you here.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you much.